The marketplace dome of Verosnine was loud, busy, and dangerous in a way that only frontier planets could be. Holographic signs flickered through the haze. Vendors shouted in 6 different languages, and the air smelled like a mix of coolant steam and grilled skygull to Elias Crane. A human, single father, this chaos was simply background noise. He held a small hand-little Nora, his daughter guiding her through the crowds. Her curly dark hair bounced as she walked, her small boots tapping against the metallic floor. "Papa," she asked, "why are we here again?" Elias smiled. "Because someone," he tapped her nose, "ate all the snacks on the ship." She grinned back, teeth glittering like tiny stars. "They were good." Elias' laughter echoed. He was tall for a human, broad-shouldered, with a calm face that had seen battles but preferred peace. His clothes were simple, his steps quiet. Only 2 things about him drew attention. His left arm was a prosthetic, forged of matte black alloy. On that artificial forearm, etched deep in silver plating, was a tattoo symbol resembling an eagle made of angular lines. Wings spread in sharp arcs. Most beings didn't recognize it, but those who did, they stepped aside. That emblem was the mark of Alpha Force, the legendary human special operations unit whose deeds whispered through war zones like holy scripture. Elias rarely spoke of it, and Nora didn't fully understand it only that it mattered. Somehow, but one person in the crowd didn't recognize it. An oversized, spike-skinned Tagrathian lumbered toward the market square, his heavy boots making the ground vibrate. His name was Brak Volna, and he was known across Verosnine as a bully who enjoyed harassing smaller species. Tagrathians were a warrior, race big, brutal, and quick to anger. Brak was all 3, especially today. He'd lost a gamble earlier. He was hungover, and he wanted anything to hit. The encounter Elias and Nora reached a stall selling sweetbread when Brak burst through the crowd like a living boulder. "Move," he roared, shoving a trader aside. Nora flinched. Elias stepped protectively in front of her, but he didn't raise his voice. "Easy, there are kids here." Brak paused, blinking down at him. Then he smirked. "A human, telling me what to do." Elias didn't answer. He just adjusted his stance, slightly subtle, automatic, the kind of movement soldiers never lose. Brak noticed a mechanical arm. His grin widened. "You're a cripple, and you're in my way." Nora squeezed Elias' hand, whispering, "Papa." "It's okay, little star," he said softly. But Brak wasn't finished. He leaned down, eyes narrowing at the tattoo on Elia's arm. "What's that?" "A picture of a bird. You humans decorate yourselves with animals like pets." Nora frowned. "It's not a pet." Elias gently squeezed her shoulder to keep her quiet. Brak straightened. Towering over the man, shoved Elias in the chest. Elias didn't move. Though his boots scraped slightly, Brak's grin vanished. He shoved harder. This time, with a closed fist, the punch landed square on Elias' jaw. Nora cried out. Elias staggered a half step, then slowly turned his head back as if he'd merely been tapped. A murmur rippled through the nearby crowd. Brak blinked in surprise. "What are you made of?" Elias wiped a small smear of blood from his lip. "Patience," he said calmly, "and restraint." The Tagrathian roared and swung, again this time a full, bone-cracking haymaker meant to knock Elias across the plaza. It never reached him. With a motion to fast for most eyes, Elias' prosthetic arm shot up, catching the Tagrathian's wrist in midair. A loud, metallic snap echoed. Brack screamed as his wrist twisted at an impossible angle. Elias' voice remained soft. Walk away. But the bully wasn't thinking anymore. He reacted with pure instinct, snarling as he grabbed a shock blade from his belt and lunged. Nora gasped. The crowd scattered. Elias didn't. The legend awakened something inside him, a place he tried never to open against clicked into motion. The tattoo on his arm wasn't decorative. It wasn't personal art. It wasn't even a memory. It was a promise. Elias sidestepped smoothly, letting Brack's blade slash empty air. He caught the Tagrathian's elbow, pivoted, and slammed him onto the ground with such precision it looked like choreography. Elias didn't shout. He didn't grunt. Every move was silent, efficient, controlled like a veteran who'd lived a lifetime inside battlefields and didn't want to step onto one ever again, but now he had to. Brack tried to rise. Elias placed a foot on the alien's chest and pressed just enough to make breathing difficult. You hit a father, Elias said quietly. In front of his child. Brack wheezed. You fight like a ghost. Elias' eyes darkened. No, I fight like Alpha Force. Gasps erupted from the watching aliens. One older merchant whispered by the stars. Alpha Force. The human specters. The ones who broke the siege of Meridian. Another added, my cousin served in the Outer Rim. He said Alpha Force soldiers could kill you before your shadow even moved. Brack froze beneath Elias' boot, fear finally crashing through his drunken haze. Didn't know, you didn't ask, Elias replied. You didn't look. You assumed. His voice dropped to a whisper, sharp as steel. That's how bullies die. Brack swallowed hard. Please, I don't want to die. Elias lifted his foot. You won't, but you will apologize. Brack scrambled up and bowed so fast his spikes clattered. I am sorry, human. I am sorry, little one. Nora blinked up at her father, eyes shining. Ilias nodded toward her. She accepts. And Elias added firmly, you will pay for our groceries. Brack didn't argue. He dumped his credit pouch onto the stall table so fast the merchant nearly fainted. Then he fled through the crowd, tripping over himself. Aftermath. Nora tugged Elias' sleeve. Papa, what's Alpha Force? Elias knelt to meet her eyes. Long before you were born, he said softly, your father did some difficult things. I don't want you to grow up knowing war. I want you to grow up knowing peace. But you fought that big alien so fast. I only fight when I must. Nora hugged him tight. I love you, Papa. Elias closed his eyes, pulling her close. I love you too, little star. Around them, the crowd slowly returned to its rhythm. But something shifted that day. Word spread through Verus. 9. Don't cross the human with the metal arm. Don't touch his kid. And never ever lay a hand on a man who carries the tattoo of Alpha Force. Because legends don't fade, they sleep. And if you're foolish enough to wake one, you learn why humans F***ing rule ***.